Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Keys and Bricks, real advice for real estate decisions. So before we dive into the conversation, let us do a recap of last week's episode. Our guest was someone who had been scammed while buying real estate, and he took us through what the emotional experience that he went through. And that also didn't stop him from acquiring another property. So just to do a small recap, I'll ask our guest today, before even I introduce him, what he would think or what advice he would give based on what Brian, who was our previous guest, took us through. So in his story, Brian mentioned that he had done all the due diligence. Even his advocate had gone through the paperwork and everything was playing out well. He paid a deposit of 20%, and the remaining was supposed to be mortgage. So while he was working through looking for mortgage options and settled for one, it's his bank who had picked up that they were financing another client with the same title deed. So I'll just ask, before I introduce you, in your professional opinion, how would you advise someone how would you advise our viewers who would be in such a situation? Because and why do you think the seller put them also in that situation? Because the seller would have told him that there was someone else who was interested in this property.
Okay, thank you. Picking such from a typical due diligence as a lawyer is really difficult, because I think in that situation what the seller was doing, he was double dealing. So the seller was not just being honest. So he was trying to see how soon he can close either deal. And it's difficult for you to pick that through a due diligence, because due diligence, when you're conducting due diligence, it will just confirm to you if the title deed is owned by you, the person who's selling to you, if there's any issue on the property. But it will not confirm to you if this property, if there's someone else who has entered into an agreement with the person who's selling you the property. And many times that happens, especially where developers are trying to offload either units or land. And for finance purchasers, the duration the bank takes to close a deal is longer than a cash buyer. So if I am selling property, all I have done with you, who is a purchaser, is I've signed a sale agreement with you. I can cancel it before the property transfers to you. If I get a better deal, I can easily, a seller can easily get into another transaction because they've gotten a better deal.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with that from a legal point of view. I think it's the seller just trying to take, it's a commercial decision. Of course, it's not being honest, but that is likely what happened in that scenario.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting, because we would think that by the time you give a deposit, then that deal is closed.
The deal is closed when you pay full purchase price.
Okay. Okay.
Before that, the seller can change their mind. Even buyers can change their mind. If you are banking on the bank to finance you through a mortgage, for instance, and for whatever reason you don't qualify, you will not proceed with the transaction. You will cancel the transaction because of reasons beyond you.
Yeah.
So in those circumstances, depending on how far you had gone with the transaction, then you could lose your deposit, or if you just sign a letter of offer, you might be refunded, maybe less some administrative costs.
Okay. Okay. So we've heard from our guest today, and so I will like to introduce him at this point. Today we are diving deeper into real estate. So our topic for today is land buying. What to look for when you're buying land. And our guest in studio is someone who has expertise, over 12 years expertise in conveyancing. So I would let him introduce himself and tell us what he does.
Thank you
Karibu.
once again. My name is Ashimosi Ken. I serve as a managing partner at a law firm called Mark and Partners Advocates. We are situated in Two Rivers, and we have another branch in Western, in Kakamega. My area of specialty is real estate and commercial law, and I've been doing this. I'm starting my 15th year into practice.
Wow.
Yes. Thank you.
Karibu sana to the show, and we'll just want to dive in. Maybe tell us a bit more of why is land buying so a sensitive topic?
Land is emotive. Land is emotive. There are emotions involved in land, and there's so much. People invest their hard-earned money to get property. So typically, there's a lot of attachment to property, and that is why you'll see a lot of disputes around land. If couples are separating, it's property. If people are fighting, it's property. Israel and Palestinians are fighting about property, so it's just land. Land is very emotive. Yeah.
From your experience, what common mistakes do people make when they are buying land?
The most common is getting into a deal without a lawyer. That is what happens. I think that is it's careless. And many purchasers do that because they have this misconception that legal services are not necessary because I'm doing a small transaction, or it's too expensive to get a lawyer. But it's not. That is a misconception. So they will trust their friends, their relatives, or even the person they're buying the land from as the gospel truth, get into a transaction. By the time they're realizing they got themselves in a bad deal, that's when they look for a lawyer. And that particular point, legal services are very expensive.
So at what point should I engage a lawyer if I want to buy land? Is it from the time that I'm interested in buying the land, or after I have got land and maybe I want to do a search for it, or
when you start thinking about buying land, you should start thinking about a lawyer who will represent you in that transaction. Because unless you're a lawyer yourself, and a real estate lawyer for that matter, not every lawyer can take you through a conveyancing or real estate transaction. And that is something that purchasers and the general public also do not understand. Lawyers, just like doctors, you cannot go to a gyna if you have a toothache.
True.
So you cannot go to any lawyer because you want to buy land. If you've come to me, if you have a criminal issue, I will refer you to my friend who is a criminal lawyer, because for sure you'll go to jail. I will not handle you properly. So you need to get a lawyer who has expertise in land matters or property matters, so that they can guide you accordingly through the transaction. So at the point at which you're thinking about getting yourself into a transaction, have a lawyer to walk you through that journey.
And what if, like we've said, some buyers shy away because their perception is that legal fees is expensive. So let's say I'm thinking that I cannot afford an advocate to help me in my land buying decision. How can I tell that this land that is being sold belongs to whoever is selling me that piece of land without involving an advocate at this point?
Okay, without involving an advocate, you could, of course, depending on what you're buying. If you're buying land, you could go to the ground and you could do your own, let me use this word, kienyeji due diligence, and ask the neighbor, is this the owner of the land? And that can confirm if the person you're engaging is the owner or not. The other thing is you can ask for the title deed. And the title deed will have the name of the person that you're engaging with. At that particular point, you need also to ask for a copy of not a copy or an ID, the ID, so that the names on the title deed correspond with the name on the ID. So those are the basics that you can use. But it gets complicated if you're buying, let's say, an apartment. And also it even gets more complicated if the apartment is off plan, meaning you're buying something that you cannot see.
Yeah.
So the level of due diligence really depends on the particular property you're planning to buy. So if it's land, it's easy to pick up. You can do that by yourself. But to a particular extent, when you want to do proper due diligence, beyond that, then you'll have to engage the lawyer, because there's some documents that the lawyer will look at or look out for, which in your capacity as a buyer, you might miss out, or you might not understand what they mean.
Okay. So that comes to my next question. How can I tell that this title, yes, you've given me the title matches what your ID, what is in your ID. So how then do I tell if this title is genuine or not genuine? Because we've had cases whereby there are fake titles out here, and someone will come up with a fake title and say, I'm selling this land. And when you go and do a search, you come and find that this is not genuine. But even how many people go to go for that search? So how do I tell that this title is genuine or not genuine?
So knowing if the title deed is genuine and not genuine, it needs a level of expertise. There are many fake titles out there. So first thing, depending on where this property is located, at the moment all properties in Nairobi have been mapped up, so they are on a platform called Ardisasa platform, which is a digital or electronic register, where if you have an Ardisasa account, you can key in the details of that property, and the system will send a notification to the owner that someone is checking out the property. If the person accepts and they know that you are interested in buying the land and they're interested in selling the land to you, they'll accept the notification, and then you'll get the search results, and then you'll see that the property belongs to Ken, this is the size of the property, and so on and so forth. There are things on that search now that you might not understand. Like if there are encumbrances, if the property is charged to a bank, if it has a caution on it, a restriction, you will not understand. And maybe even if you see that, you might not understand the consequences or the impact of those encumbrances on that particular title deed. So that is what you could do to confirm if the title deed is genuine or not. Of course, if you don't get the results on this platform, then that should be a red flag that the property has an issue. The other way to go about it, if you go to other registries, you apply for a search at the Ministry of Lands, and they can give you an official search that is signed by the Registrar of Lands, and it will show the owner of the land, the size of the land, the same particulars, but that is a manual system.
Okay.
But then there's a second layer of due diligence or a search that is done beyond that. You need to do due diligence at the Survey of Kenya or the County Survey Department, just to confirm that the land that you're buying exists on the ground.
Okay.
Because there are many instances where you'll do a search, but there is some documentation missing at the registry. Maybe the property was subdivided and that has not been effected at the district, the survey office. So you need to confirm that. And most importantly, right now, the courts have been addressing many disputes about the title. And now the court has given onus to the person, to you as the buyer, to go and dive deep and go do thorough due diligence.
Okay.
So you need to go, at that particular point is where you need some expertise.
Yes.
Because you need to go deeper and find out how did this person get this land, even before it got to his name. Because the title deed might be my name, but how did I acquire it? And that's why now you get instances where there are either two title deeds,
Yes.
or there's someone who has a title deed over Uhuru Park, or someone has a title deed of a roundabout. How did they acquire that land? Yeah, so it's not just a matter of confirming if the title deed is genuine. The title deed can be okay, by the way. Because remember, from a legal point of view, the title deed is just evidence of ownership.
Yes.
Anyone can have it, but how did they acquire it? Did they acquire it through a genuine process? If it was not, if the process was not genuine, even if the title deed you've searched and is in my name, it's on a disaster, but the process of acquiring it was through fraud, or no, it didn't follow the legal procedure, that title deed is as good as paper. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe for any viewers who is watching us this minute, and they might not understand what encumbrances are, what is that?
So encumbrances. It's just a fancy name for lawyers, but it's a legal term. It means there is another interest. Someone has an interest in that land, so they've registered their interest on it.
Okay.
So an example of encumbrance, number one, if I have a loan or a mortgage with the bank registers a legal document called a charge against the title.
Okay.
So when you do the search, if someone has a mortgage over their property, you'll see in the encumbrance, they'll see a charge in favor of Bank X or Bank Y. If there's a dispute, you might find a restriction, a caution on the title in the encumbrance section. So they will find someone has registered a caution. So maybe we have a dispute, maybe through divorce, and the property is matrimonial. So you'll find a spouse has registered a caution on it, or a transaction went wrong, someone has registered a caution on it, or a restriction, sometimes even by the owner of the land, just to avert any dealings on the land. You might also get encumbrances in terms of way leaves. Let's say you have a parcel of land, and Kenya Pipeline has run its pipes through your land. So Kenya Pipeline has registered an encumbrance, or KPLC, or a road that, so there are many types of encumbrances that can be registered against the property.
Okay. That's interesting. Now we've done due diligence, but we are learning that even the due diligence, there are deeper things that we need to know, which some of them we can only get to know when we have an advocate who is helping us in that process. So now we've come, we have done our due diligence. We want to buy this land, but now we do not know the boundaries, because sometimes you can also buy land and you're told your boundary, this land, here is a road, here there's something. So you find that whatever you've bought, in size it's pretty small, keeping in mind that maybe the boundaries have come in. So how do you know where the boundaries or beacons are? Yeah.
So going back to your first question, due diligence. So the due diligence from a professional view, from a professional point of view, is very thorough. So, and this depends on the type of property you're buying. If it's an apartment, the due diligence for apartment is very different from due diligence you're going to conduct when you're buying land that is undeveloped.
Yeah.
If you're buying land that has a house, the due diligence also is very different, because your due diligence not only confirms on the the title deed, but it goes further to confirm, like I mentioned earlier, the property exists in the survey office.
Yes, yeah.
So if the property exists in the survey office, it means the surveyor, that property has been surveyed, and there's documentation in the survey office that you can rely on to confirm now the beacons that you're talking about. So at that particular point, a lawyer can only extract documents from the survey office. And so when you're doing due diligence, number one, title deed, to confirm the owner, to confirm if there are any encumbrances. Then number two, you will also get documentation from the same lands office on the history of the land. So how did this property get to the person who is selling you? How did they acquire it? Were they allotted the property by government? Did they inherit it? Did they buy it? And so did they buy it through an auction? So all that is in the lands office. Then the other third thing that you do is you check at the Survey of Kenya. As if it's, you can get the maps at Survey of Kenya or the district survey offices. You get a map. So we call it survey map, but right now we have registry index maps. So these maps have the particular parcel, all land, all property that has a title deed must have a registry index map or a survey map. Or before, some time back, we used to refer to them as deed plans. So it has measurements, it has the location of the land. It's like a Google map. So you locate your land, and because the title deeds have numbers, you'll see the number and the acreage. So for you to confirm the beacons on the land, you need to engage a surveyor. A surveyor to confirm that the beacons on the land correspond with the actual measurements on the survey map. And that is why you'll find that at times when property has not been beaconed correctly, you'll find encroachments. So someone has either encroached on land, on the road, or the road has come into their land, or the neighbor has their fence, and so on and so forth.
Okay, that's interesting. So now, having said that, if I decide maybe I want to buy land today, and I decide to use an advocate, so the advocate is the one who's going to do all the work. I do not need to now get the services of a surveyor again, because you see, now if I'm getting an advocate and a surveyor, that's an additional cost for me. Maybe educators on, because sometimes we tend to assume that it's expensive to get an advocate to handle this, when in real sense, if we get that information, we might be saving something, or it might not be as expensive as we assume. So do I need to get a surveyor when I have an advocate?
So it depends on the package that the advocate gives you. So for me, we work with many surveyors. So if I'm to bill you for due diligence, you'll not have the headache of getting a surveyor. We'll do everything end to end. By the time we're going to submit the due diligence report to you, it will have the survey part of it done. There could be an extra cost on establishing beacons, because there's sometimes times that you go to the property you're buying and the property is not beaconed. So depending on the agreement you gotten yourself with the person who is selling you the land, you could agree he ensures that the property is beaconed. And for you as the buyer, when you go with the surveyor is just to ascertain that the beacons have been put on the property correctly. So the cost of the survey, that will be it's nothing that you can't afford, because if you're going to invest 500,000 just using a minimum, I don't think it should pay you to pay even 50,000. So because the cost of losing 500,000 against 50,000, it's not really
Yes.
something that you need to think about if you're seriously about securing your investment, because this is about securing your investment in money. Unless you're being given for free, then you'll have an issue paying legal fees.
True.
Legal fees vary depending on the value of the transaction. If your property, let's say it's 500,000 or 1 million, the legal fees is not expensive. The advocates use a scale. So the minimum an advocate should charge, if it's 500,000, it's just 25k.
Wow.
So I don't think if you're really serious about investing in land and you can't pay 25k, then, so you'd rather pay the 25k, then the advocate conducts proper due diligence. And the good thing with that, if the advocate does his job correctly, then you should not have any worries investing. And in case you invest and you find out maybe the advocate did not do the proper due diligence or advise you accordingly, you can there's a fallback.
Okay.
Because you see, advocates have a professional indemnity cover, so you can sue me that I was negligent in the way I handled the matter. So there's that fallback. But if you do it yourself, if you lose, you lose.
You lose. Yeah, true. So you see, what is coming up even in this discussion, I think it's an eye opener, even to our viewers. We have always assumed that legal fee is expensive, so that's why we end up getting caught in shoddy deals. But now we are getting to understand that if I'm buying maybe land, a plot that is worth 500,000, all I need to pay is 25,000. So
legal
I think legal fees, yes.
Then of course, there's fees you'll pay to the government.
Yes, legal fees, and there is fees to the government, but that is now legal fees, because I think the fee to the government is standard and it's easy to explain to someone. So legal fees is where. So even it becomes more informative to our viewers that it is essential to get the services of an advocate for every purchase of land, and it removes that headache for you, because there are things that you will miss, and at the end of the day you'll come to lose. I remember I had a friend who bought into a property. I think was it in Syokimau or at River, and 3 years later, after they have constructed, it was demolished. So you sit back and you see, when you have gone through such a thing, you shy away from buying property or buying land. So it's important for our viewers to know that, you see, there are genuine plots out here, even here in Nairobi, because I've had people say, I wouldn't buy land in Nairobi. I would end up being duped, But now we get to learn that even that land in Nairobi, they are genuine plots. But for you to get these genuine plots, use the services of an advocate, and it will remove a lot of headaches from your end. So in your own view, maybe just to touch on what I'm saying, the demolition. How comes 3 years after I've bought into a land, then demolitions are coming after I have constructed? What has happened between the time I bought and the 3rd year?
Okay, that's a very good question. It goes back. I mentioned it. Whoever is selling you the land, go back and do a historical search. How did they acquire this land? My experience with Kenyans is, first of all, they like good deals. And they love shortcuts. Where they're avoiding costs, they will capitalize on that opportunity like no one's business. And the example you've used for Syokimau, I think I had the benefit of interacting with some of the people who lost. And when they brought the documents, most of them, some of them had title deeds, but the process of getting that title deed had a lot of question marks. Then the other majority of them did not have title deeds. They had share certificates. I always tell clients, where if someone is selling you land and they do not have the title deed, even if the deal is sweet, just walk away. Because if I don't have a title deed over my property, then what am I selling you?
True.
I don't have title. I don't have a good title. There's nothing I'm selling you. So majority of those people, when they approached us, they had share certificates. And some of them, and I think there have been recent cases. There's one, I think, in Athi River, where I think the Portland Cement land.
Yes.
There's no one there with a title deed. For sure, the mother title is in the bank. But you, in whatever way you are duped, you have your own title deed. So when Portland Cement came with their own title deed, now people started now looking at whatever they have. Some didn't have title deeds, some had those share certificates that you're talking about. But the owners of the land, the company, had the mother title deed charged with KCB. So they had the title deed. In I think it's Kirima's family in Eastlands. All those people who have built mansions, they don't have title deeds.
What do they have? Share certificate?
I don't know what they have. That is why they are they are getting into an arrangement with the family to pay afresh for land that they bought. I don't know how they bought it, because people, this is where I think people get duped. It's a good deal. People are selling. It's a company, but you don't go beyond to check. How did these people acquire the land? Is it genuine?
Yes.
Does it belong to you?
You've brought in a new aspect of a mother title. Actually, it's something, if you had not mentioned, I would forget. So what is a mother title? And because I know from the mother title, there are other titles that come up. So what is a mother title?
So I can explain it in two ways. So mother title, let's say you have an acre of land, and I decide to develop, let's say, apartments on this land. So I have different blocks of apartments on this 1 acre. So these blocks of apartment sit on one title deed, which is the mother title. So it is the foundation. So that is where people refer it to the mother title. So the owners of the apartments will be given either subleases or sectional titles, but they will have emanated from the 1 acre, which was the mother title. In another scenario is where you have 1 acre, you had a title deed reading the exact size of 1 acre, then I decide to subdivide it into different portions. When you subdivide the land into different portions, that mother title, let's say it dies. Then the subdivisions are born out of the mother title. Okay. So you have smaller, maybe eighths. So you will find this commonly happens with land buying companies. They buy a big chunk of land, 500 acres. Then that is now the mother title. Subdivide it into eighths. So those are the children born from the mother title.
Interesting. It's been a very, very, very educative conversation. And our viewers, we have a very good project, interesting project in the heart of Kakamega, in an area called Lubao. These are 24 serviced plots, an 8 acre plot, 50 by 100, ready titles in 30 days. So what we offer for this, you pay a 20% deposit, and we have 2 options, for land and for houses. So you buy land and you have the option of building yourself, or we construct for you. So we'll be sharing this information we'll share this information on this channel below the screen. And in case you're interested, we'll have our contact details that you can reach out to, and we'll give you more information. Ken, it was lovely having you. Personally, I have learned so much. I'm sure our viewers have also learned so much, and we've learned that it's important to actually engage an advocate when you think of buying land. you will avoid many headaches. You'll avoid a lot of stress, or even losing out on your money. So let's not have that notion that legal fee is expensive. It is important to engage an advocate. And in case Ken is a managing partner at Mark and Partners Advocates, and he's been in real estate industry for the past 15 years. So if you'd like maybe his services, we'll also have his contact on the screen. You can reach out to him, or you can reach out to us in case you need any information about them. And it's been real, it's been interesting, it's been beautiful, it's been amazing. Thank you for watching. This has been Keys and Bricks, real advice for real estate, and I've been your host, Lorraine Ashimosi. Till next time, see you.